Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Before we go any further, let's be friends. I don't know the rest of that song. Hey guys, so today we are going to talk about friendships and some red flags from those friendships. You know, I'm blessed. I have a really, really good group of friends. I won't even say group because it's not like I mean, I can count how many friends I have probably on one hand. As far as like, okay, when I think of like friends that I've had since I was younger, because I have made new friends, which is hard to come by when I'm 45. It's hard to make new friends at this age. But I will say that I have a great group of friends, and that is so important. I don't know, that's just as important as these other relationships, these romantic relationships, you guys. If you don't have good friends around you, they can be giving you bad advice. They could be hating on you. Before we get into that, let me just go down the list and then we can talk about those things. So, number one is the jealous, competitive friend. Now, hopefully you don't have this. And if you did, hopefully you got rid of them. Sometimes it's not always easy to spot that person. Sometimes they say things that you don't catch till later. And you're like, why would my friend say that to me? Or they're nice nasty. I hate a person who's nice nasty, let alone a friend who's nice nasty. Nice nasty is like they're going to compliment you, but they're going to say something nasty along with it. So once again, you probably won't catch it right away. But a lot of times when people are competitive and jealous, they're envious of your success, or they're envious of the smallest things. Sometimes you don't realize what you have until someone else is jealous of it, or until someone else mentions it, such as like your personality, or maybe they love your hair, or maybe your body, or maybe guys are always approaching you and not them, or it could be anything. It could be your bank account's bigger. Many reasons why they could be jealous or envious. Two different things, by the way. And one thing I will never do is compete with a friend. I won't compete with anybody. The only competition is with myself. I'm going to get better and better at this every day. But being in competition with someone else is just not a thing for me. But some people weren't raised that way or weren't taught that. And so when they feel a certain way about something that they don't have, the closest person to them, they're like, well, they have that. And they become a certain way toward that person instead of celebrating their friend. Number two is the one-sided friend. The friend that never calls, never makes plans first. You're always the one contacting them. You're always the one texting them, coming up with a plan. They just don't seem all that interested in spending time with you. They probably aren't. Now, I will say, as a person who's 45, it's a different type of friendship is different with us. Like, if I don't see my friends for a couple months and we just text and check on each other, you good? Da, 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 that's fine, because we are raising kids, living life, life be lifing. So we're not like holding that against each other because we didn't talk to each other in a month or so. That friendship is still locked in. I have a friend in Texas. There's times where I don't talk to her for 5-6 months, but when we talk for several hours. We catch up, and like we made plans last time we talked for her to come out to my daughter's graduation. But that's still, we're locked in. If she called me and said, hey, such and such happened, and she needed me to get a ticket, I would find a way to get out there to her. Same thing with my other friend that's in Texas. Like, you just, it becomes different the older you get when you're raising kids and having, you know, you're married or you have families, stuff going on, or we're at that age now where some people are taking care of their parents. So there's also that. The friend that causes frequent drama. I had a friend like this when I was younger. She just seemed like the bad news bearer, basically. Like, every time it was just like drama with her, or she always had like something bad to tell you, or it just seemed like you just knew she was about to tell you something bad when she called, or I don't know, something about that person, that one friend that's just always got the negativity or the black cloud over their head. I don't like that. And it's hard to be in a positive mindset or to be happy or to not want to acknowledge all these bad things when someone's constantly throwing it in your face. And to me, how good of a friend is that if you're always wanting to tell me something bad, something that's going to make me sad or mad, or I don't want to do that. It's like that friend that they hear someone say something about you and they can't wait to run back and tell you. Number one, if this so-called friend heard someone talking about you and they run back to tell you this bad thing and they didn't say anything to this person, that's not your friend. Sorry to tell you, it's not your friend. Because why are you sitting there listening? Did you sit there and laugh with them too? And then you're going to run back and tell me to see what my reaction is going to be? You would think that's just so high school, but grown people do that. And I'm here to tell you that's not your friend. So next, number 4 was going to be talking behind your back. One thing that I find, I don't know if this is, maybe it's different for different people, but I think that if I'm friends with someone and then they were friends with someone who didn't like me, I don't think that's going to work out. Unless they're friends with this person who doesn't like me and they never bring me up. I'm not discussed, not talked about. That's the only how I can see that working out. But other than that, I don't get how that works. Like, they don't like me and you're friends with me, so how does that work? When they talk about me, do you stay silent? Do you laugh when they say something that's supposed to be funny? I haven't been in that situation, but I've seen other people in that situation, and it usually doesn't turn out well. Let me know, comment below if it works out for you. I don't know. I just don't ever see that working out. The controlling friend, number 5, controlling behavior. Some friends are like, you're mine. No one else can be friends with you. Now, I do understand my best friend is in a whole nother state. It is very hard to know that there's someone else that she's kikiing with and I can't be with her. I can't be with her in Texas and do how we do. And, but she's my best friend and I know that. Like, we're secure in that. We're locked in. So it's not, I don't question that. But I do, for some of you who maybe are younger, I'm sure when you see your good friend getting close to someone else, you can be kind of side-eyeing that person like, no, that's my best friend. And I get it, but it should be okay for people to have other friendships, because here's the thing. Everybody's not fulfilling everything. They're just not. Even my best friend is not a go out kind of person. Like, she never went to the club when we were younger. She wasn't that friend. She was the friend where we went to Target runs or the movies, or we would cook a nice dinner together, things like that. But she wasn't going out. So I did have other friends that I partied with. She didn't like doing that. So you can't be all things. You just can't. You might be a good portion of them. She is a good portion of it. But that controlling behavior from a friend, that usually gets old real fast. At least when you're older, it gets old fast. I think when you're younger, you tend to deal with it a little more. Because when I was in my early 20s, there's plenty of things I dealt with that I shouldn't have, but you live and you learn. And lastly, that draining friend. Number 6, feeling drained from a friend. this could be feeling drained emotionally. I don't know. It's hard. This kind of comes in different ways because sometimes I think if there's that friend who's always like in some drama and trying to involve you, that can be draining. Or like, say they have relationship drama and they're always trying to involve you in that. Because a lot of times if it's your really good friend and they're hurting, you feel that. You want them to feel better. You want to be there for them. And so if this is a constant thing, this is why when I used to go through things, and I think this is probably why I still have a lot of my friends from when I was like middle school and high school. When I would be going through a hard time in life, which was a good portion of life, for one thing, I think when I was younger, I was able to laugh things off and still live life and just, I don't know what my brain was like back then. But I did not bring everything to my friends to the point where they were heavy. Yes, they're supposed to be there to listen to you, shoulder to cry on to get. But if I'm calling my friend every single day, crying about something, asking for something, needing something, that is going to get old. They're not going to want to be your friend. And I just never did that. I had my time where I was going through stuff. And sometimes I would distance myself because everyone doesn't need to be heavy with you constantly. You might have that moment where you come over, you drink together, you cry, they make you feel better, whatever. But to constantly burden your friend with whatever you're going through, I just don't think that's okay. I think that's very draining, and I would never want to be that friend, and I wouldn't want that kind of friend. So those are the 6 that I have for different types of friendships that can be red flags. And if you guys have any other red flags as far as friendship goes, you can comment below. That's all I have for you today. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.